This is just a piece of soil, piece of dirt. But the people are what make it King Ranch. Growing up, as a little kid, we always played cowboys and Indians. My brother'd be an Indian, and I'd be a cowboy. And I had an aunt tell me, said, you're gonna have to learn more than being a cowboy. And I never understood that until I was here 4 or 5 years and realized there was more to this ranch than cowboy. Well, I think the relationship that my father had with the employees here, we've got 8 generations now working here on the ranch, starting back in the early 1800s that came over from Mexico when Captain King bought the first herd of cattle out of Mexico. The whole village didn't have any grass, didn't have any place to go with their cattle, so he bought the herd. And they said, well, what are we going to do now? We don't have anything to do. And he said, well, anybody that wants to go with me, I'll house them, I'll feed you, I'll take care of you, educate you. And so there was a number out of that village of Cruellas, Mexico, that came up with Captain King. And so I think that relationship with the employees has been something, a lesson that I've learned. Take care of them and they'll take care of you.
I guess the earliest memories that I have are being outside most of my time, and either on the back of a horse or back of a quail rig, and seeing my father. I knew he was a boss of some kind, but he was leading by example. He was in the thick of it.
To me, it was young kid's paradise. Huckleberry fins, tales of working cattle and spending time horseback with my parents and with the family, extended family, and with the cowboys.
My dad, he is a force. He's a force. He has a big personality. I learned from my dad to be honest, to be loyal, hardworking, and family. He loves his family.
I had 4 years of military high school in San Antonio at Texas Military Institute. I had the idea that I wanted to go to college and learn agriculture. I looked at our colleges I considered was Texas Tech, A&M, and Cornell. And A&M was quickly out of the scope of where I wanted to go, because I'd spent 4 years with no girls, in a uniform, in military high school. And at that time, this is 1964, when you went to A&M, you were in the Corps. And I didn't want to be a freshman again. I didn't want to be a fish. I didn't want to be in the Corps. We came back to Kingsville, loaded my car up, and went to Texas Tech and enrolled. And I got a degree in animal science with a business option at Texas Tech. Best decision I ever made.
This guy comes by in his uniform and knocks on the window and waves at me, which set this professor off. And he finally said, just wave at him so he'll go away. And that ended up being Tio.
They had a very good ag department, they had a good wildlife department, and I met my wife. I may put it in reverse order. I met my wife, had a good ag school, and had a good wildlife program.
Well, I would say he was very persistent. I found that he was just a lot of fun. And then when I came home with him, I like his family so much.
in 1971, Dad was running the day-to-day operations, cattle and horses. My father was taking care of all the operations here in South Texas. I was out here and I came out to see my father, and he was in this house in the kitchen. And I said, Dad, I'm ready to go to work. And he said, good. He said, there's a car and here's a ranch key. Go to work. That's all he told me. So I walked out the front door, got in my vehicle, and went to work.
I liked what they did. I liked their philosophy. I mean, just the way they had a great time in the middle of nowhere.
An important part of my childhood was seeing my parents involved in the ranching process, in land stewardship, in this business that felt much more like a group effort, but also that we were invited in as well, that it was not just a community effort and a business, but it was a family affair.
We'd be up at sunrise to sundown, working cattle in the heat and in the dust, but never thought about how hard it was. It was just part of our life.
Well, I think I developed a lot of programs, but with a lot of people's help. Cattle operations, about 22,000 mother cows and about 200 horses, 43 men with a feed yard, 825,000 acres. Roughly 15 sod farms in the state of Texas and in Florida. Hunting is on about 600,000 acres here in South Texas. Farming's 80,000 acres of cotton and mile level. So we got about 200 head of saddle horses and about 40 brood mares. When we were at the top of the breeding program with Mr. Sandpeppy, Little Peppy, and Dry Dock, we were breeding 600 mares a year. We've got 6, I believe, John Deere dealerships, saddle shops. We've got 5 locations: Kingsville, Fort Worth Stockyards, Frisco, College Station, and Oklahoma City. Big operation.
Look at all of the things that he's had his mark on. I think that everyone who's been involved in those endeavors will probably say that they were successful in part because they knew that, as simple a thing as it is, that he cared. He cared about the success of the business, but he cared about the individuals that were involved in it.
The thing that makes, I think, Tio unique is his ability to focus on what matters and to filter through the noise and be genuine about what he's doing.
His passion has been ranching, wildlife, agriculture, I think his entire life. And he has worked hard to make it a better industry, to advance it in any way he can, and he has done that.
I think the Golden Spur, it's such an honor. He had a vision and he had the persistence to do that, and I think that's endemic to agriculture. The people that voted for him this award know what it's like to do that.
I told the guys that work for me, I said, I'm the coach. I love coaching people to see them express the best of their ability. And you go out and do it. I'll support you any way I can, but get it done and do it to the best of your ability. This is just a piece of soil, piece of dirt. But the people are what make it King Ranch.